Well, now we're learning all of these new revelations that we might not have learned had Alvin Bragg not pursued this.
And that Alvin Bragg, it's
every piece of evidence tells a
relief. Work. Play. Blink. Relief.
The only 3-in-1 extended relief formula for dry eyes.
Blink.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Ensure with 27 vitamins and minerals, nutrients for immune health, and Ensure Complete with 30 grams of protein.
Not flossing well? Then add the whoa of Listerine to your routine. New science shows Listerine is 5 times more effective than floss at reducing plaque above the gum line for a cleaner, healthier mouth. Listerine, feel the whoa.
Today, at America's beverage companies,
our bottles might still look the same,
but they can be remade in a whole new way. Thanks to you, we're getting bottles back.
And we've developed a way to make new ones from 100% recycled plastic.
New bottles made using no new plastic. You'll be seeing more of these bottles in more places.
And when we get more of them back,
we can use less new plastic.
See how our bottles are made to be remade.
Hey there, Brenda.
It's Carol.
Exactly. So which leg are we operating on?
You mean arm?
It's all connected.
Asking the right question can greatly impact your future.
Are you sure you're an orthopedist?
Actually, I'm a Sagittarius.
Especially when it comes to your finances.
Do you have a question? Are you a certified financial planner?
Yes, I'm a CFP professional.
CFP professionals are committed to acting in your best interest. That's why it's gotta be a CFP. Find your CFP professional at letsmakeaplan.org.
If you have wet AMD, you never want to lose sight of the things you love. Some things should stand the test of time. Long-lasting EYLEA HD could significantly improve your vision. And can help you go up to 4 months between treatments. If you have an eye infection, eye pain or redness, or allergies to EYLEA HD, don't use. Eye injections like EYLEA HD may cause eye infection, separation of the retina, or rare but severe swelling of blood vessels in the eye. An increase in eye pressure has been seen. There's an uncommon risk of infections.
Camp Lejeune. If you lived or worked at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, for at least 30 days from August 1953 to December 1987 and have been diagnosed with cancer, neurobehavioral effects, had a child born with birth defects or been diagnosed with fertility issues or more, significant compensation may be available. Call Legal Injury Advocates now to discuss your case.
Call 1-800-501-3636. That's 1-800-501-3636. Call now.
Are your gutters clogged? Cleaning them can be dangerous. Mucky. Yuck. Get Leaf Filter. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call or click today. Get your free gutter inspection on your schedule and get Leaf Filter installed in as little as a few hours. You'll never have to clean out your gutters again. Guaranteed. Get Leaf Filter today. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or go to leaffilter.com. As easy as 1, 2, 3.
I'm Priscilla Alvarez at the White House, and this is CNN.
We are watching history unfold in New York, the criminal hush money trial of former President Donald Trump. Right now, defense attorneys are grilling a key witness for prosecutors. Trump's team is trying to undermine David Pecker's testimony about the alleged scheme to catch and kill negative stories about former President Trump. Welcome back to CNN's special live coverage. I'm Dana Bash in Washington.
And I'm Anderson Cooper outside the courthouse in Manhattan, following all of today's major developments. Let's get back to our chief legal affairs correspondent, Paula Reed, who is with me, as well as criminal defense attorney Adam Kaufman. Adam, just in terms of what we have seen so far, it's been no real surprises. I mean, clearly the defense has the strategy of just trying to show any inconsistencies in David Pecker's testimony and also kind of amplify the idea that what he was doing for Donald Trump, he was doing for many other people as well.
I think that's it. I think in the cross-examination, they haven't really gone after him, and they don't need to, because Pecker is establishing points that help the defense, talking about other examples of where he did exactly this same type of activity in other stories for other people, that this was business as usual. This is what the National Enquirer did. And so there's really been no need for the defense to go after and cross-examine him in a harsh way.
Joining us also is Bill Brennan, criminal defense attorney, who's represented the former president both in a 2022 criminal tax fraud trial and also Trump's second impeachment trial. Bill, what do you make of what we have heard thus far, and what do you, as they move into Stormy Daniels, now Trump's attorney is walking through Pecker's previous testimony that Reince Priebus, Mike Pompeo, Sean Spicer, and James Comey were in Trump's office when Pecker walked in. Bill, let me just big picture, what to you is the biggest weakness about Alvin Bragg's case here?
Anderson, the biggest weakness in this case is they have to get to the finish line of motivation. Was this done to affect federal campaign laws? And it's a long stretch. You know, you've got, if you think of it in terms of a Venn diagram, you know, if you look at this defendant's case, or I heard Pecker talk about Governor Schwarzenegger, Mark Wahlberg, the difference is this defendant and Governor Schwarzenegger have celebrity circles in the Venn diagram, and they also have political circles. So if this was done to avoid an embarrassing situation and shame to the former president and his family, and that's the motivation, the case is over. They have to get to the motivation of election fraud, federal election fraud, to make this felony stick. And I agree with Adam. You don't go after a witness like Pecker as a pit bull. Pecker, in many ways, is making the defense's case. I think also when Miss Clifford testifies, it would be foolish to go after her hard. I think you save that for Cohen.
Let me just tell you what's going on in the court. Pecker is saying that Beauvais, the attorney for Donald Trump, has been asking Mr. Pecker for more details about walking into the meeting with James Comey and others and Mike Pompeo. Beauvais asked Pecker if he knew there was another consequence of that meeting. It was when FBI Director James Comey told that's a meeting where they were all assembled. Donald Trump said to all of those in the room, this is David Pecker. He probably knows more than most of you in this room. The prosecutor objected. The lawyers went to the bench. The judge has sustained the objection. The president's lead attorney whispered to Trump after returning to the defendant's table, explaining probably what went on at the bench. So again, we're going to be hearing more details from David Pecker as the cross-examination continues. Paula, what stands out to you about this?
So this feels like a hard left turn, right? Suddenly we're talking about James Comey and we're talking about the dossier, what happened. But while we're on commercial, for the first time, David Pecker.
So again, we're going to be hearing more details from David Pecker as the cross-examination continues. Paula, what stands out to you about this?
So this feels like a hard left turn, right? Suddenly we're talking about James Comey and we're talking about the dossier, what happened. But while we're on commercial, for the first time, David Pecker whispered to Trump after returning to the defense table. The judge sustained an objection from the prosecution, who objected to another question about that meeting, the one in the Oval Office where James Comey and Sean Spicer and all these folks are in. The defense wanted to ask if Pecker had learned after that meeting about what was discussed, specifically the dossier. Now, prosecutors didn't want that brought in. They objected. The judge agreed. So it's unclear what defense attorneys are going to do from here. If they're going to continue this line of questioning, they're clearly trying to get at something by bringing up this meeting.
Why would what is the importance for to you? What stands out? What's the importance that Beauvais is trying to accomplish here?
So he's trying to figure out if Pecker had learned about what happened in that meeting. So it appears that maybe he's trying to suggest that once Trump was in the White House, he wasn't sharing information, or he was. It's not clear to me what they're going to do now that this objection has been sustained, how he's going to pivot. Because what he wanted to do, clearly he's going to have to find another way to do it, or he's just going to have to move on.
Adam?
It suggests to me that what they might be trying to establish, because the question was that whether Pecker did not overhear what was being said, that they're trying to put some distance between Trump and Pecker in this. And so that while Pecker did have a relationship with Trump in this sort of media operation, he wasn't part of the circle that was learning about all of the inner details of what was going on inside the government part of it.
Let's go back to Dana in D.C. Dana?
Thank you so much, Anderson. And as we wait for the questioning to continue, the cross-examination by the defense of David Pecker, Caitlin, can you just kind of look big picture at what we have seen as we are on the final day this week of a very, very intense, unprecedented hour after hour after hour in this New York City courtroom? And whether going into this, we know what the Trump legal team and maybe more importantly his police
ranking officials, and David Pecker stops by, and he's now moving on, and he's asking about Trump thanking David Pecker for handling the Karen McDougal situation and the doorman story. That was one of the biggest things that we learned about yesterday, where basically Trump invited David Pecker for a thank you dinner and was asking him, how's Karen doing, referring to Karen McDougal. What Trump's team has been trying to do today, and it may seem in the weeds, but it's important, is to undermine what they were saying about the McDougal agreement, saying actually she did benefit from it because she had these columns published by AMI publications that had her name on it, so it benefited her career, they're arguing. They're saying that they believe they misled Michael Cohen on whether that agreement with Karen McDougal was bulletproof. They're basically trying to undermine that this is all this big cover-up.
And Beauvais is asking Pecker about that testimony you were just talking about yesterday when Pecker said Trump thanked him for the doorman story. Kristen, you talked to Trump sources all day long. What have you been hearing from them as they watch? By the way, because obviously there are no cameras.
But I would say when talking to these Trump senior advisors, I mean, you're right. A lot of them are learning about this in real time. They're watching the coverage. They have no idea what's going on inside the courtroom. Trump is there with a couple of close aides who don't have their phones. So they're following this. It is exactly as salacious as they thought it was going to be. There was no mistake. We know what is at the heart of this, an alleged cover-up for an alleged affair with a porn star.
And we have an update now from inside the courtroom. Beauvais now raises Pecker's 2018 FBI interview, asking if he recalled saying that, quote, Trump did not express any gratitude to Pecker and AMI during that January 2017 meeting. Ellie, can you explain, put yourself in the position of a lawyer in that courtroom, why this is important?
So first of all, this is a common, what we call impeachment tactic. Impeachment meaning undermining the credibility of a witness, not the kind of impeachment that Donald Trump was subjected to twice. You take the notes. As the defense team, you have all the interview notes. You know what the witnesses said to the